So I figured it was time to make a video like this because I was gonna do something like this when I did the 100% Coca-Cola 600 trophy stream on my channel. I was gonna do a conversation about NASCAR 21 Ignition while I was doing that, and obviously that stream never happened. I've never done a 100% Coke 600 race. I'm still gonna stream it if and when I do it. Um, There is a good reason why I haven't done it though, and that reason is the game itself, NASCAR 21 Ignition. So I wanted to just make a video about my honest and raw thoughts of NASCAR 21 Ignition now that it's been out for, what, 2 weeks now? So I just want to make a video like this to share my thoughts about the game and how I feel about it, because so far the videos I've posted of it are me phasing through the track, which is a terrible glitch, um, and then me having some really good online races. So how do I feel about NASCAR 21 Ignition after the stuff I've played of it? Well, let's start with the known positives of the game, the things that people talk about that are good and we know are good. The graphics are pretty good. They are pretty nice graphics. Can't lie about that. There are some, at points, texture and rendering issues. However, I have to think that's because I'm playing on PS4 and it's probably not as good as it can be. I'm sure if you're on a really good PC, it probably looks better. I'm sure if you're on a PS5 or, uh, something like that, it looks nicer. So I assume that maybe that's a PS4 issue, but even with it being on PS4, it still looks nice. And the presentation and attention to detail is really good. In fact, it might be a little bit too good, which is where they may have went wrong with the game when you go to things that are bad. In terms of the things that are bad, um, where to start about that? First of all, offline is pretty much broken. You can't really do anything single player wise. The only thing you can really do offline is making a paint scheme. Um, from what I've heard, there's a lot of big issues with career. I haven't even tried career yet because I've heard some really bad things about it. And whenever I race with AI offline, there is a really, really, really good chance that they somehow start lagging. It's kind of weird. You know that camera shake, which is another thing I hate. Camera shake where you get up against another car and it just starts shaking the camera violently for some reason. Um, I feel like that almost causes the issue. Whenever I get stuck in between two AI and I'm like getting camera shaked, the AI kind of lag back and then move forward and they kind of send me up into the air. That's not good. Yellows are broken. If you are fortunate enough to get a yellow, the restarts are broken. Pit stops under green are sometimes broken. Um, Overall, offline is pretty much broken. You can't do much offline, which is very disappointing. Um, Considering they've been working on the game for at least 2 years, maybe even more. You would expect it to not be completely broken whenever it gets released, but yeah, it was pretty broken. Um, Now, some things about online, because that is my main bread and butter of NASCAR games as of late. Ever since Heat 4, it has been online races basically. I haven't done basically anything offline. Career mode in the late Heat games I barely touched. So online is basically what I do. First of all, the first glaring issue about online, obviously no private lobbies or no custom lobbies, I guess, which is a major issue, uh, and should be introduced later on, hopefully. But it's not top priority because the game is broken and they need to fix the game before they start adding features into the game if they want to do that. So, yeah, definitely fix the bugs before adding in private or custom lobbies, which is a shame. Um, the matchmaking is kind of weird with the whole party system. You get your people, your friend group into a group, and then you go and you matchmake with either shake and bake or whatever it's called, bump and run. And sometimes it just doesn't work. Some people get in and some people don't, and it kind of glitches out the whole thing. And then even if you all get into a race and you do the race, afterwards you're not in the party. You have to reinvite everyone into the party, which I feel like if you're at least going to do that system of, having to join a lobby every time, at least put people that were in a party together back into the party together so that I don't have to invite people every time uh, we finish an online race. That's just, I feel like that's common knowledge, but here we are. Um, Also with online stuff, which is very, very, very terrible. So you get into the race, and you're waiting for the race to start, but you never have an indication of when the race is going to start. You're in the lobby, right? You look at your data pad, and you have this stuff of like the starting lineup, and it has the countdown timer or whatever, and it has all the other like lap data things and the setup and the options, whatever. But there's nothing that says like you can't ready up. You're always automatically ready once you get in. Uh, so you can't ready up. You're just kind of waiting. The only reason I know when the race is going to start, you look in the timer in the top left, and once it stops ticking down, you know you're going. If it never stops ticking down, once it gets to -7, you're going. Why -7? I don't know. That just means it's broken, I'm pretty sure, because you're never supposed to see -seconds in a countdown. So I'm pretty sure that's broken. Then you start the race, and it's black screen for a good bit. If there are enough people in the lobby, it is black screen for a little bit. And you can take control of your car in the middle of the black screen, which means you're either starting sometimes in the grass, sometimes you're wrecked, sometimes you're in the outside wall, sometimes you're going perfectly fine.
Explains it. The reason why I like it so much is because he explains it.
Oh my god.
I'm in a corner.
Yeah, I started straight. Like straight into the wall.
But if you're in a lobby with a good amount of people, it's going to be like that. I've noticed where there's less people in lobbies, it works better to where I can see basically almost immediately once it joins in, which is really good. The night race is also another thing is where it's the night races no matter what, I feel like I can't see. I think that's just something to do with the graphics. Other things with online, people can go backwards and they don't ghost. Why ghosting isn't an option in a racing game, I don't know. Hopefully, just like on Heat 4, that gets added in, because I think on Heat 4 ghosting wasn't a thing until like halfway through. So hopefully, dear God, that gets added, because it really ruins the online experience. And I'll talk about the online experience in a little bit, but definitely not being able to ghost people ruins that. So I went through that. Sometimes you phase through the track, which is a little weird. If you get hit hard enough, you can go through the bottom of the track, like me at Dover.
You in the lead?
The leader just put himself. Oh no! I'm in the ground! Oh no! I'm in outer space. Get me to the line.
I thought we were underground. How are you in outer space?
Get me to the line. No.
Where are you at?
I'm gonna do the power slide across the line.
Where are you at?
No.
Where are you at?
I told you I'm underground.
Oh, you're underground. Oh, yeah.
Here we go, boys.
And also, if you get hit hard enough, sometimes your wheel breaks off, which is a little weird, and then you can't control the car.
You can Newman me. I'm still on my lid. I'm on my lid. Someone come hit
Fred,
me.
I'm right here.
Oh, never mind. It rolled itself back over.
You idiot. Why'd you hit me?
Ow.
I told you I'm wrecking and you still hit me, you dumboose.
Dumboose.
My
Where you
car's
at?
broken.
Where you at?
I'm against the inside wall, but I can't turn right. It's only turning left.
I'm gonna aim for you.
I'm barrel rolling.
What is? Oh, you missed. Eli,
No.
what is happening?
I don't know. Hang on. I'll come back around.
Oh.
I'm on my way. I'll go backwards to you. Wow.
Oh, you know what?
Never mind.
That would do it. My wheel is not there.
So there are some pretty bad issues when it comes to the game. Now, for a positive note, I like how the game handles and controls in races. I've had some really, really good races with either friends or random people where you race in a pack with each other, and you can race hard, whatever. All this stuff happens, and it's just good hard racing. No one's going backwards, whatever. It is literally good racing, and it's fun whenever it works out right. The most annoying part of the races was the start, when I had to try and guess when the start was, and then trying to guess where my car is going to be going. Um, so there are, obviously good things in the game, and there are good glimpses of the game, but they just threw bad stuff all over it. And the good glimpses are very few and far between, but I've had some good races and some good battles on online, and it it's really good because I have seen basically no lag issues online. The biggest issue I've seen with online lobbies was once or twice I've seen someone where they pop out, it's like they disconnect, but then they reappear like half a lap later, which could be their internet. Considering I haven't seen any other issues with the online lobbies, I almost want to assume it's that person's internet that's the reason for that. Because otherwise, the lobbies run very smooth, and there's like no lag issues at all. Whatever happens on your screen happens on everyone else's screen, which is something obviously that never happened on T ever. So that's something good. Lag issues are basically non-existent. The bubble, the bubble effect with the cars, not there at all. Which is very, very interesting. And then to get towards the stuff about the racing, first of all, crash physics are actually kind of realistic. They're realistic enough to where they're not stupid, but they're still fun enough, to where you can have a good laugh after something crazy happens to you, like get hit in the door and you go flying upside down or something, but still realistic enough to not look stupid. So that's a positive. Whenever you race with people, and you legitimately race with people, say at a speedway, at a shake and bake track, at like Kansas or Vegas or Charlotte or Atlanta, first of all, they got the packages down perfectly. You go slow with the 550 package. You barely have to lift. You have to lift a little bit later into the run, which I think is tire wear. Which, by the way, why don't we have a tire wear and a fuel indicator? That's a little weird too. You would feel like you want to have that in a racing game as well, along with a rear view mirror. More things that should be added in. But so you're like racing in a pack, and momentum's actually a thing. And you go up and if you push someone, it actually pushes them, right? It's not like Heat, where you go and you hit someone and the momentum just disappears. You go and you take momentum into someone, you push them, they carry that momentum, and you can push someone by someone, which is stuff that's happened in online lobbies. I've had many times racing with Eli. This was just a few nights back. I think we were racing at Las Vegas or something like that. I was trying to arc into the corner and get a nice arc into the corner, and he was trying to run a little bit lower. And when I arced from the middle lane down to the bottom lane, he's about half a lane off the bottom. If I arc down to get down to the line and I cross in front of his nose, it pushes his car straight because of the dirty air. So they were able to model stuff like that. Like the racing is actually good. I don't feel ever at any point where I'm like, oh my god, this car might get loose off the corner, like in Heat, where you just randomly get loose off a corner. They modeled the racing and stuff and the driving pretty well. It's unfortunate that all the other issues that they've had have kind of overshadowed that the driving is actually pretty good on the game. For the most part, there's not many issues I have with the driving of the game. I actually enjoy it a decent bit, and I enjoy trying to protect the lead at a speedway where I'm trying to block off a pack of cars because they're getting draft on me, because draft's actually a thing and pushes are actually a thing, momentum's actually a thing, and dirty air is a thing. So you can really use all that stuff to your advantage. I will say the one thing about the small spoiler in the 750 tracks, you do go faster at them. They do seem a little bit tighter, though, and I think what they were trying to do with that was because with the low downforce package, you have lower corner speeds because you have less grip. I think they were trying to model that, but they kind of modeled it as if the car's really, really tight, which I don't necessarily like. Maybe it's just something to do with the brakes. Stock car brakes aren't good. It could be something to do with the brakes and that, something like that, but I just feel like they kind of messed that up with the whole tightness thing. Also, the brakes don't work as well as they maybe should. Maybe it is accurate to a real stock car, but they are very, very hard to push in. Maybe it's just because I'm so used to Heat. I don't know if that's a feature or an issue. Yet to be determined on that. So, with all this, how do I feel about NASCAR 21? Well, when it works, I like it. The issue is there's been so many times where it doesn't work, it sometimes gets hard to like it. I will say, props for patch number 3 on PlayStation it was. I think it's version 1.2.1. Before that patch, kid you not, my game would probably crash once every at least 10 minutes, sometimes even like 5 minutes. It would crash a lot. I'd go in and try and do something in Paint Booth, and I'd have to be constantly saving because I was scared the game was going to crash because it crashed every 10 minutes. Ever since they released that update, my game has not crashed once, which was what the update was for. It was to fix that. So props to them for doing that. Now, how do I feel about the game? Once again, I like how it feels. I like how it drives when it actually works. Sometimes, though, it doesn't really work all that well. So, everyone's obviously saying, like, oh, well, it can get better with patches and stuff, whatever. It can. The issue is, though, it should never have been this bad to begin with. This is a very, very bad kind of attempt at a game, and it wasn't good at all at launch. Can it still be good? I think it could still be good. Now, it's just in the hands of Motorsports Games. Will they do the necessary updates and stuff like that to make sure the game gets better? They need to really push out updates and fix all of the issues, and then start adding in features that should have been in the game, like stages, like a rear view mirror, like a fuel and tire indicator type thing. So there's a lot that they need to fix, and there's a lot that they should add in because it is necessary for a racing game. Am I confident they will do that? I don't know yet. This company is completely new. We don't know what they're like. We don't know if they are listening. Obviously, they said another patch is going to be dropping at some point soon once it goes through testing. Hopefully, dear God, it goes through testing and it doesn't make the game worse. But all we can really do now, if you have the game, or if you're waiting to see if you want to buy the game, all you can do is wait for patches. And all you can do is make your judgment from there. If you are on the fence about buying the game, and for some reason you're watching this video, I would say do not buy it until you see improvements from patches. And if you don't see improvements from patches, then definitely don't buy it. So, yeah, that's basically all I have to say. In the background, there's been some of the issues that I've described with the game, also along with some of the really good racing I've had on the game, with some of the good features I've described. So yeah, the game. I know it's been said a lot, but the game should have had a lot of potential, and they floundered that really, really badly. And it's not something that anyone should ever forget, and it shouldn't ever come out like this ever again. I think they focus too much on the minor details and the appearance of the game, rather than making sure it ran perfectly fine, which is an issue, and unfortunately a major issue in the online game era, because back 15, 20 years ago, it was this game needs to be perfect on release because you can't patch it. After it goes out to the public, you can't do anything with the game. Nowadays, it can go out to the public in a completely broken manner, but hey, there's patches for that reason, which is kind of a really dumb excuse and kind of crutch to use, but that's how a lot of gaming is now. A lot of big companies that have like titles like this, they just kind of release a half-assed game most of the time. And for those that don't, props to those companies. And a lot of them are like smaller and indie developers because they want to make a good name for themselves and leave a lasting impression rather than something bad. So, yeah, that's my opinion about NASCAR 21. There is some silver lining there, but you have to work through a lot of gray to go find that silver lining. Thanks for watching. Hopefully this game gets better, and hopefully at some point they fix the offline good enough to where I can do 100% Coke 600 live stream so I can get that trophy. And yeah, hopefully that happens soon.